Hello, we just had an extremely interesting IFST food safety breakfast meeting and a very good, interesting presentation by Deborah Smith on food safety in the production environment, the selection, use and maintenance of cleaning equipment. So thanks, Deborah. You certainly brought the topic of cleaning and hygienic design to life for me. And you brought a lot of science to the presentation. Tell me, what are the major developments you think science, the research that you cited, has brought to the topic area?
I think what it does is inform some of the practical things that are done in the factory. So a lot of hygiene is common sense, and we all think we know what we're doing in terms of controlling cross-contamination. But when you actually see some science behind it, it kind of validates our common sense. The two things that I think have done that best have been the studies where we've looked at the impact of aerosol distribution using a high-pressure hose, where we developed a model to show the spread of contamination over an area. And then the other with particle distribution, particularly with regard to allergens, where the use of things like compressed air can spread that contamination widely. And also we showed that the particles stay in the air for a long period of time, so they can have a long time to travel distance before they then fall back on surfaces. So knowing that from a scientific point of view, we can then modify our cleaning to make sure that we deal with those issues.
You know, I was particularly struck by the risks when the job is done poorly and some of the complexities, I guess, underlying some of the science. So my question, and some of the questions of the audience, was also, how can SMEs in particular get some help and guidance to do this in a proper way?
It's very tough. The big companies have in-house hygiene experts, they have the facilities and resources. The SMEs don't always have that. And the availability of that resource is quite difficult. I think IFST do a good job with things like these breakfast clubs, being able to invite people in and give them this kind of information. It's all about training and information. The European Hygienic Engineering Design Group, who are another group I work with, they also provide guidance that's available to SMEs. You can go onto their website and download information on hygienic design principles. But I think it's just about sharing of knowledge in the best way you can, and if that can come free of charge through things like IFST, then that's great.
Now, you mentioned also that EDG were producing some guidelines in a few years' time, so can you tell me about those? You're involved in putting those together.
Yeah, EHED have focused so far on hygienic design and production equipment, but in the new BRC version 7 there's a requirement for hygienically designed cleaning equipment, and although it's appeared in BRC 7, there is no guidance available to the food industry on the hygienic design of cleaning equipment. So I've put forward a proposal to EHED for a subgroup to develop guidance on cleaning equipment. And unfortunately that may take a little while, but at least we can get the ball rolling.
Okay. And what role do you see them playing in the UK food environment or area anyway, more generally?
Well, they already play a very big role in the food environment in Europe, particularly Germany. They're not so well known within the UK, but what they can do is offer training, support and guidance to the UK food industry on hygienic design, whether that be production equipment or just the general principles. And the conference that we've got organised for later in February is on hygienic design, and that would be a great place for people to come to get quite a lot of information. Okay,
so you're doing that as part of the Western branch for IFST. So you're an active IFST member, so we'll talk about the conference in a minute, but tell me first, why did you become an IFST member?
Well, that started back when I was at university at Surrey, and we had some of our lecturers who were very passionate about IFST, and at the end of my time I actually won the student prize for my course, and stayed an IFST member since, and have been more or less active over 28 years.
Wow, okay. And so you've organised the conference on the 25th of February, the Western Branch Conference, Hygienic Design and Food Processing Environments. What can delegates expect from the day?
Well, I hope they can expect to come and meet some hygiene design experts. So we've got everybody from a member of the executive committee of EHEDGE who will be talking about the new guidance on food factory design and layout. We've got Eric Partington from the Nickel Association who's talking about materials of construction. And we've got industry members who are from a salad producer mainly, and she's going to be talking about the hygienic design issues they've had in their factory and how they've retrospectively fitted and solved the hygienic design problems.
Okay. And although this conference has been run by the Western Branch, you've often attracted other delegates from around the world. Are you expecting this event to have the same attraction?
I hope so. We've run 3 auditing conferences previously, and we've had delegates from all over Europe. For this conference, we've got delegates from Denmark in particular, and I think we've had some interest from, I can't remember which country it is now. Brazil, I think it was, yes. So Brazil. So it seems to have a worldwide appeal.
Okay. And why the change from auditing? Because you've mentioned that you did 3 other conferences.
Well, because we've done 3 already, and we've looked at different aspects of auditing and hopefully covered that quite nicely. The hygienic design now seems to be a very hot topic. There's more and more focus on it through EHEDGE and through some of the safety standards that are coming in, as I mentioned, BRT7 with the new hygienically designed cleaning equipment. So we thought it would be a good topic to put a conference on the line.
Okay. And you've managed to keep the costs low, so can you just sort of highlight those and how you've managed to do that?
Yeah, we've picked a conference centre that we've worked with in the past, who we've managed to establish good relationships with, and they give us good rates. We're all volunteers, so the organisation of the conference, the running of the conference, is all done by volunteers without any pay. We've also attracted 2 sponsors this year, so we have VCAN, the company I work for, and Freudenberg Air Handling Systems, who are also sponsors. And we've got a number of tabletops that people are paying to have small exhibits on. So they all help to balance the costs.
Great. So just to make it clear then, so the students were £45, members at 95 and non-members at 120, so that's a good job. Managed to twist some arms in your company, I see, that's good to do. Well, thank you, Deborah. That's been an excellent morning and an excellent presentation, and I guess we'll also have the presentation up on the website so people can see what they've missed, or at least refresh themselves if they want to see it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.